brought to you by Smart, bringing people together, and the Belize Bank, our country, your bank.
Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm Sabrina Daly.
And I'm Isani Cayetano. Good morning.
And good morning to you, Isani.
It is Wednesday. It is the middle of the week. And it can't be any better.
Yeah, I could tell. You jumped straight into it. It's a good day for you. I told him this morning. You know, Isani, you're quite dressed up. Where are you heading to?
I feel casual, actually.
No, you look great. Thanks. Yeah, you're right. It's a bright and beautiful Wednesday morning. It is the middle of the week, and we are, of course, blessed to be enjoying a shorter week this week. So it kind of feels a little bit Thursday-like too. Yeah. But we do have a jam-packed show this morning, Isani, and quite a few topics to discuss as well in What's Buzzing. Well, for certain, what's on the minds of a lot of persons this morning after being on social media and even seeing it on the news as one of the top stories, or one of the breaking news stories, I should say, is the really hard news of hearing that a little boy, just 3 years old, Isani, fell into a canal here in Belize City. That boy, apparently, the news was heard that he would have fallen into a canal on around Sopal Street around 3 p.m. yesterday, and there were so many videos and live streams on social media of hundreds of persons gathering around this area that this little boy would have allegedly fallen into. And it was until after around 6 p.m., closer to 7, that it was announced that the body was retrieved, but of course without life. We are so saddened to be reporting this story. It's one of those stories that I don't think anyone could have ever expected, you know, when you think of your kid falling into a canal. Of course, not even knowing the depth of this canal. We know a lot of times these canals are filled with mud inside there. It's just, it's a really, really hard story, and our thoughts are with the mother at this time.
I always have a bias when it comes to situations that affect children. Because I'm a parent as well. And beyond everything else, the first thing that comes to mind is adult supervision, particularly for children of that age, you know. How does an infant wander off onto the street? That's the first one. And secondly, to end up in a canal. Those are my two primary questions as a parent, because we have a charge where it is our primary responsibility to look after the well-being of our children, because they wouldn't be able to do so themselves, right? And even in this case, if the child was left in the care of someone else, then that individual failed big time if that were the case, right? So those are my two initial questions. I think the third and equally important question is, at the point where someone, or perhaps people, began responding to this scene, everyone stood around. I don't know that anyone immediately decided, okay, to hell with it being a canal and all the health risks involved. There's someone submerged.
There's a life in there, yeah.
Right? So my other question is, why didn't the responders automatically attempt to get in to see what they could have done, notwithstanding the passage of time, to say that I'm not sure what time or when they were alerted of this incident, enough to be able to respond effectively. Then the other question is, okay, so the child has been submerged for a period of time. Trying to fish a body out with a piece of stick, I don't know how effective that was either, right? And so from what I saw, 3 young men decided on their own or collectively that they would actually now move to retrieve the body otherwise. And that's how they were able to recover the body from the canal. It's one of those situations where a lot of people gathered around, but nothing was being done in the immediate or the intervening time to be able to see how they could either, one, rescue or retrieve the body after some time had passed, and it was near impossible that the child would have still been alive after that point in time. But people gathered around, people went to social media, they did everything else except, and this is just my opinion, they did everything else except being able to actually deal with the issue at hand, right? Why weren't the fire officers called in, the police or whomsoever would have been the proper first responders, right? And so we'll be delving into that today to try to figure out what actually happened there, only because it's an unusual circumstance, right? News of an infant falling into a canal and remaining submerged for a period of time, all into the news. We were still waiting for word as to what was taking place or what have you. And then the actual recovery of the body from the canal.
So the initial question that, of course, a lot of the commenters on the posts that were made, as well as even on our live stream here, is what could have taken place for this child to fall into the canal. There are many reports on the ground, nothing official as of yet. What we do know is that the child was under the care of his babysitter. And so I am not sure how much information the mother can provide, but there has been word that the child was playing with another child, and I guess as a result of playing close to the canal, that's how he would have fallen into it. Of course, as I mentioned, this is not confirmed as yet. This is just alleged. What we do know is that, as we mentioned, the child fell into it around 3 p.m. and for about 3 hours, there were hundreds of persons around this canal doing multiple live streams, trying to fish out this child using a stick. And as Isani mentioned, it took 2 or 3 individuals closer to 7 o'clock to retrieve the body of this young child. And of course, he was pronounced dead when they would have gathered his body from the canal. Our thoughts, though, are so with the family. I know at this time a thorough investigation will have to take place, but there's not much I think you can, I'd say, gather from an incident like this, other than it's probably just playing gone wrong around an area that obviously a child should not be.
Well, I maintain that it goes back to what I said initially. The person who is tasked with the responsibility of looking after that child, that's where it begins, right? You know how kids are for the most part. You take your eye off of them for 1 second and any number can play, in a manner of speaking, right? So when you are charged with that responsibility, it's a very important role that you're playing in that situation, where you have to keep your eyes on that child for the better part of the time that he's in your custody. And I say that again from the point of view of a parent primarily, because I have a 5-year-old, and the moment you take your eye, and that's just kids, I mean, this is what children do, right? The moment you take your eye off the child runs off somewhere, puts something in his or her nose, and their ears, whatever it is, drink something, whatever it is that they're doing, right? So it's one of those situations where taking care of a child has to be your primary focus if that's what's given to you as a role or a responsibility. You have to be able to be there and monitor that child throughout the course of time that he or she is with you.
Absolutely. Perhaps this will put a greater focus on the role of babysitters and the number of children that you can perhaps have under the care of one person as well. Those are many things that I think could be considered at this time. I know you mentioned a great point, Isani, when you're dealing with young kids, the attention that is required. And there are babysitters who have multiple kids that they're babysitting, up to 10 even. So that is even another a point to consider as well. But as we mentioned, condolences goes out to the family. We will be gathering information on this story and of course also providing it to you in our newscast. But also what was trending online, Isani, was fires, and there was a massive fire that was also shared on social media last night. It seemed that there were multiple fires, one in Belize City, but also one in Hopkins, or down south, I'd say. Now this one here, I want to say is Belize City. Is this one Belize City?
I'm not sure of the location for this one. I'll go as far as saying that in one of those incidents, someone lost their life, right?
Okay, this one is
Dangriga, right? But yes, so over the weekend, indeed, we have been covering instances of fires in various areas, including here in Belize City as well. I believe there would have been, over the past 3 or 4 days, 2 incidents here in Belize City, and then the other one that we're looking at in Dangriga. And I wouldn't be able to say at this point what the cause of these blazes, I can't tell you what happened there. That remains to be investigated, and then we officially can speak on it. But I think by and large you're speaking about fire safety. And being able to, one, secure our property in such a way that we avoid electrical or we avoid gas-related fires or candles, if that were the case, right? So it speaks to the issue of fire safety. I repeat, I'm not quite certain what the causes were in these 3 instances, but I'm looking at it from that perspective, that as homeowners or property owners, there are certain measures that need to be taken to safeguard our property. Right?
We've also had folks from the fire department here on the show several times talking about ways that we can do our part in further securing our property from fires, preventative measures. Something as simple as a smoke detector could be one of those ways that you could prevent your home from being completely destroyed or a life being lost. And of course, they're inexpensive. You can also go as far as purchasing a fire extinguisher. But I know that there are other cases of fires that take place when no one is at home as well. So again, for the person who would have lost their lives, our thoughts and prayers are with the family members. This as well, I know we will be getting further updates on to provide in our newscast. But that does it for our What's Buzzing this morning, Isani. As we mentioned, we have a jam-packed show, so we do have to jump straight into it. And we're going to go straight into our weather update next.
Good morning, Belize. A relatively moist airflow continues to linger over our area. The 24-hour forecast for Belize and her coastal waters calls for sunny skies today with cloudy spells, along with a few showers or isolated thunderstorms to develop mainly along the coast at first, then move to inland areas by afternoon. High temperatures today will range from 86 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast to 92 inland and 77 over the mountains. Tonight, the skies will be cloudy with a few outbreaks of showers and thunderstorms to develop mainly over southern areas and along the coast. Low temperatures for tonight will be 78 along the coast to 72 inland and 65 in the higher elevations. The winds will be light and variable at first, then later the winds will blow from the northeast at 5 to 10 knots. The sea state will be slight. A high tide will occur at 9:05 a.m. followed by a low at 3:04 p.m. and then a high occurs at 8:55 tonight and a low at 3:43 in the morning. The sun rose at 5:46 a.m. and set at 5:29. The moon comes up at 5 this evening and set at 5:49 tomorrow morning. The outlook for Thursday and Thursday night is for some outbreaks of showers and thunderstorms along with periods of rain to develop over most areas. In the sargassum forecast, sargassum amounts are expected to remain low with only minimal impacts, if any, during the next 1 or 2 weeks. In the tropical weather outlook, showers and thunderstorms in the southwestern Caribbean Sea are associated with a broad area of low pressure. This system has a low chance of developing during the next 48 hours. The National Meteorological Service will continue to monitor the progression of this system. Also, an area of low pressure located over the central tropical Atlantic is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms. This system currently has a low chance of developing into a tropical cyclone during the next 48 hours. And that's your morning forecast that was prepared here at the National Meteorological Service.
All right, there you have it, your weather update from the folks at the Met Service. As you could tell, we will be expecting some showers and thunderstorms on Thursday and Thursday night, so stay heed to that information. Moving now into our show lineup, as we mentioned, we have a jam-packed show, and starting off in our first segment, we'll be joined by members of the Digital Leadership Conference Belize 2024, who will be talking to us about their upcoming event, strategy, security, and engagement for the future.
In our second segment this morning, we'll be talking to representatives of UNICEF about their Belize Child Justice League.
And in our third conversation, it's all about empowering HR leaders to drive organizational success.
And lastly, we will be talking about redefining pastry creations with Mabake and Chef.
Wonderful. Well, we got to take our first break. And when we come back, the conversation switches into Digital Leadership Conference Belize 2024. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Elmer Shua, ay join jik ahelak sa Kopal Tree Lodge. Keronik ahelan ay lain sa Kopal, kakui bartending, kakui an keronik mana lain. Lain ni usara Belize Bank mobile app. Hanak na usara uta ana ATM, uting card. Araw kay balbas changkiron sa usara ut kolore na notification chura phone na mensah pas. Araw ta kin kolore, tak kala harup ci tumin sa usara. Ut araw ta naw nak sa chabilo wang gatumin.
Gentlemen, this is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connection. Pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Fulltech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Full-Tech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
Shop smart for your Samsung devices in Belize and enjoy benefits you won't get anywhere else. When you shop locally for your Samsung, all your devices will be covered by a 1-year local warranty. You won't get that when shopping with the other guys. When in doubt, always look for the Cellular World seal to know you're getting the real deal. Shop with confidence and enjoy your Galaxy knowing that it can be repaired locally at our Samsung Service Center by certified Samsung technicians using original parts and machinery. Even better, enjoy the best LTE experience in Belize, knowing that your Samsung devices are compatible with major local carrier networks. Get the ultimate Samsung Galaxy experience only when you shop from authorized Samsung resellers nationwide.
There's an old proverb that says, "He who has health has hope, and he who has hope has everything." We showcase that hope from discussions on health and wellness, climate change, and updates on NCDs and a lot more. Stay tuned to Caribbean Medical TV.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. We are jumping into our first segment this morning. And as we mentioned, it's all about the Digital Leadership Conference Belize 2024. This morning, we have some representatives joining us, talking to us about it in person and virtually, of course. Fitting to have it digital as well. This morning, joining us is Dr. Dion Chamberlain Miranda, and she is the Managing Director of Chamberlain Consultings Limited. Joining her is also Henry Anderson, and he is the CEO of DFC, Charlene Coote, and she is the Deputy Director of Belize Tax Services. And joining us virtually is Christian Jr., and he is the CEO of RICS UK. Guys, good morning and welcome.
Thank you for having us.
So, the Digital Leadership Conference Belize 2024. We were just talking about how fitting a conference like this, or the conversation around bridging the digital divide, is, especially after COVID-19, that had us rely so immensely on digital platforms and communicating with each other using digital mediums. Let's talk about a conference of this kind here in Belize.
Well, we're excited. I met Christian at a conference in Trinidad last year, and the conference is about disruption.
Okay.
And obviously, digitalization is really creating a huge disruption. But the disruption is created because there's a gap between our knowledge of what it is, fair of what it brings, and the fact that we have to prepare our people. And that's why we're excited about bringing this, because leadership needs to understand it's not only about the nuts and the bolts and the implementing of amazing equipment, it's really about bringing your people on board, which includes change management. It really creates guidance and training to ensure that resistance is not there, but it's also pulling the Belizean people along so that they embrace it, because it's very difficult. As you know, I mean, look at your state-of-the-art environment here at Channel 5. You all have gone fully digital, and it took over 2 to 3 years. I know that staff become impatient. It's a hard environment to work in, but look at what you're producing now. And COVID has bridged that gap. We are no longer separate or different from any part in the world. We are now on track. The Belize Tax Service is here with, I mean, they're digitized, and there was resistance, but look at where we are. Ease, freedom, no lines.
Yeah.
Look at DFC, the amazing thing that they're doing for women, children, girls, boys in Belize in terms of becoming digital. And of course, Chris Jr., who pulled it all together for us, cybersecurity expert and all of that, so that we can actually move forward together. And he's helping us with the Caribbean, not only Belize, and we're excited to have him on board as well.
We know the benefits, as you rightly mentioned, of going digital. But you also mentioned something really critical, which are fares that are involved, and that comes from all companies, even people on the ground. We were just talking about a story that I recently did, which highlighted one of the only primary schools here in Belize going fully digital. Of course, that came with some backlash. And I believe that would have come from the fair. What would you identify some of these fairs to be?
We're human, and humans don't like change, and we need preparation. We do this profiling within our company, and there are different types of personalities. They're the ones who are gung-ho, jump very quickly. I know Isani is one of those people. But we also have the people who take their time. They need to learn, grow slow, and we have to embrace everybody. And that's one of the reasons why we're having this big generational issue within organizations, because a lot of us are stodgy and old. I don't want to put myself in that little box, but when young people are moving ahead and needing headphones and all of this stuff, and we're putting in all these rules with regulations and trying to keep things business the way it was, it cannot be business as usual. It has to be business unusual. We have to bring people on board, and we have to work with their fares, because if you don't have desire, you will always have resistance. And a lot of people don't understand the value of change management towards digital environments. But it is absolutely important that you manage change, you work with your people, you embrace all of them, all generations, and pull them on board. But let's move on to the other people.
It's interesting that you mentioned that this was brought about by disruptors, right? I think in any environment, you need someone who, in a sense, goes against the established order, the status quo, in order to usher some kind of change. Because we get very comfortable when we're in an environment where we're used to the way things are on a day-to-day. Someone brings a fresh idea, or someone comes with a different energy and completely offsets what's been taking place for so long in the workplace. My question for CEO Anderson is, how did this change at the DFC come about? Was it something that you collectively agreed this is a direction, or was it also based on perhaps a disruptor experience?
All right, so when I became the chairman of the DFC, the Honorable Prime Minister asked to two things: to improve client service and to operate the DFC as a business. While development impact is the goal, you have to, create profit. Disrupt is a positive thing, right? It's not chaos. And what we're seeking to do is to provide the best client experience. DFC is not competing with the commercial banking sector, but at the end of the day, a year from now, what we hope to see, if when you talk about client satisfaction, DFC is mentioned positively, then we would have achieved that. We are working to double our portfolio in 3 years without increasing the footprint by 20% to make DFC sustainable. But if you're going to double the portfolio and you won't increase your expenses by more than 20%, then that means you need to change how you work. And that was the basis for digitalization. We all often talk about digital transformation and people think software and hardware and everything, but it starts with people, process, and then the technology comes in. So what we're doing at the DFC right now, and we talk about leading change, not really managing it because you have to lead the people, but we have done two things. We're adopting a platform and we're at the testing phase right now that it's no code and it's quantum technology and it comes with AI and machine learning. And what no code means is that we are able to make whatever changes we need in the system, all right, without requiring anybody to come back and charge us $1,000 per day to be able to do it. So it gives us flexibility. And that is important because as DFC evolves into a real development finance institution, meaning we're not only doing loans, we're administering grants, we're doing equity positions, we're doing guarantees, we're doing blended financing. We need to have the technology to be able seamless client experience. The other thing we need to do is to measure impact, right? You put money into different areas, what's the impact? So what we're working on right now is what we call our MEALS, our Monitoring, Evaluation, and Learning System, or Learning Strategy. DFC collects a lot of information, but it's all manual. So it's difficult to make evidence-based decisions with it. So as part of implementing the new core management system that we're putting in, we're automating our meals as well. So we're doing it together. So let's say by the first quarter next year, then we will be able, every piece of data in our system, we're able to touch and to analyze. So we're bringing all of these things together. The second thing we have done is to use an agile methodology. All right, so instead of going where you go A, B, C, D, and you look back, we do iterations. So the first iteration is made up of 7 sprints. A sprint is 1 week. And then we have different teams that are designed to work with the consultants to put it together. What this does, it has about 40% of our team involved in developing the solution. That brings buy-in because you're getting consensus, you're getting feedback. What I have learned in my career is the people who know the solutions are the people doing the work. So the more you listen to them, the better you can innovate, right? We have changed, this is all part of our rebranding effort, right? And so we have changed our corporate philosophy. And one of the values we have in there is innovation. And we say we listen, right? We change and we invest. And so that brings all of it together.
I'm glad that you've mentioned that change in the corporate philosophy because more often than not in the workplace, those who quote unquote call the shots are very rigid and firm in their own belief of how things should be. And so the experts can be around, those with experience can be around and offer their suggestions, but if they are firm in their mindset that this is what we want to do, then it's almost as if though there's a bucking of heads as to what should actually be the most practical approach to solving an issue.
Well, if I could respond to that, right? It's all about competitiveness at the end of the day. As a development finance institution, we need to contribute to development of Belize's economy. And one way to do that is to support initiatives like this, and that is why we're here. What you have to look at, and to the point I was talking with you guys earlier, look at the world now as it's a digital world. What COVID did, it made those of us who didn't realize that wake up. Like if I look at what I learned when I did my MBA back in the early 90s, it's still relevant, except it was brick and mortar then. Now it's digital, so I had to go and relearn. Right? And there's a school of thought that says you have digital immigrants, people like us, our age, and you have digital natives. Give you a simple example. You take a baby now. At 1 year old, a baby can use a remote, can get on your phone and do everything. For us, that was a big thing probably even now. And so when you look at our education system, and going to the example you made, when you hear people saying that it can't be done that way, that's where it is going. And kids now have the ability to do 3, 4, 5 things. They can multitask because that's the world. So we need to revamp how we do things in Belize in our education system to bring the technology in. And there's the whole issue of artificial intelligence. And a lot of people get jumpy. When Henry Ford started the factory to build cars, everybody said, oh, well, the workers will be displaced. Well, Boeing has a big strike going on for over a month for a lot of people, and you still have workers working in factories. What AI is essentially a slave. It is a tool that you have do the donkey work for you while you do the more difficult work. Now, AI will replace people who don't know to use AI with people who do. And so when you look at the education system as well, a lot of times they're looking at AI as plagiarizing.
Yeah.
Well, you need to teach
And
the
being
kids,
lazy.
Right, you need to teach the kids how to use it, right? We all use calculators now. We all use spreadsheets now. Back when I was a kid, they would say, no, you don't use the calculator. Some of that was good because I can still do numbers in my head, right?
Draw the graph.
Right, so at the end of the day, what this creates for countries like Belize that are up and coming, we can use our brain. Our brain is as good as anybody else. So it allows us to build an economy that's based on technology and less brick and mortar, and then we are able to close the gap and do the things we need to do. Right? So it's exciting.
Yeah, let's get the representative from the Belize Tax Service in on the conversation at this point. Good morning once again.
Hi, good morning, and thanks for having me. On behalf of our department, I must say we are going through some major technological transformation as we speak. And surprisingly, but it was adamant to happen, all of our transformation took place during COVID. It is currently still ongoing. We started as far back as 2019, whereby we have implemented our online new platform by the name of Iris Belize.
Yes.
And it went live, we launched it in 2021. So the Department of Belize Tax Service as well is going through some type of technological transformation. It's like what the world is doing at the moment. We cannot be sitting down and having the world pass us by. We need to keep up with the pace. And like what was mentioned before, we face the same challenges when it comes to our internal stakeholders, when it comes to our staff. They find a little bit of reluctance in regards to the change. Nobody likes change, as we mentioned. And similarly, we find the same situation with our external stakeholders, our taxpayers, you know. But it's just a matter of holding their hands, guiding them through the process, and encouraging them to use this new platform. It makes things so much easier, so much more efficient. They're able to have all the information at their fingertips. So this is one of the reasons why when it came to the digital leadership portion, we were pleased to partner with Ms. Chamberlain and her other stakeholders in order to be a part of this conference that will be taking place, you know. The other thing about it is the leadership aspect of it. For us at Belize Tax Service, equipping our leaders specifically to lead our teams or our staff throughout this technological change is very important for us. And that is one of the things where wherever we could gather information and partner with any organization similar to Ms. Chamberlain, we jump at the opportunity because we see the benefits not only just for BTS, but for Belize on a whole.
Yes, excellent point. But I do want to get Mr. Junior in the conversation. We have joining us Christian Junior, CEO of RICS UK virtually. Good morning, Mr. Christian.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly. Thank you. Now, I'm sure you have been listening keenly to the three representatives joining us this morning as well in person. Now, speaking to the conference itself, I want to talk about what it's like putting together something like this with, of course, Dr. Chamberlain in appealing to businesses and agencies who are just now trying to embrace digital or digitalizing their companies.
Thank you very much for having me on the program, I must say. I think that, can you still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good, good. I think that this is a much needed program in Belize. We have carried out these programs in the UK, in parts of Africa as well, and other parts of the Caribbean. And what we find consistently is that people suffer as a result of the lack of knowledge. I think listening in on the call, I've heard a few things being mentioned about how people are scared of digitization, which is a legitimate concern because we have a lot of cybersecurity issues nowadays. I think training people and teaching them and letting them understand the tools that are available, the technologies that are there to safeguard them and protect them, they will understand that these tech platforms and tools have a lot of benefits. And it would reduce the fear of using these platforms because they now understand that maybe by utilizing two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication, nobody can hack into my account. And then we talk about artificial intelligence a lot. I think a lot of people in developing nations, particularly small businesses, they see it as a major thing to take part in, either as a result of it taking jobs of employees or their lack of technological know-how to implement AI tools. What we are trying to do is say to these small businesses, AI doesn't have to sound as huge or as big as it does. We can show you very simple tools that you could implement literally in a matter of weeks and months, that you can start harnessing the power of AI, be it in improving customer services, improving sales, and the likes of it. So the Digital Leadership Conference really is there, and it's at a ripe moment to really complement the businesses that are doing stuff, tell their stories to the rest of Belize, and then the smaller businesses that are exploring tech and digital tools and platforms, we can also bring them up to speed with what is available. Somebody also mentioned something about the people that are making the decisions not being tech savvy and not understanding what is available out there or the power of tech. I think that's a problem we find a lot, particularly in the Caribbean region. And how we deal with that problem really is we utilize data. So we show them a lot of data. So for example, if I sit in front of a decision maker in Belize, I will tell them that you have over 70% of your population that are active internet users. Out of 40,000 people, over 60% of them have social media accounts. They're active on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. As a government, as a business, you must prioritize these platforms that your citizens use on a daily basis to deliver service, products, advertising, or even basic messaging to them. I would also tell the government, look at the data. 60% of your population use mobile devices to access the internet. Therefore, you must also prioritize mobile infrastructure, mobile devices, and investment in mobile platforms and mobile applications. So when we bring in the data and show them the data and show them practically how tweaking one or two things can actually lead to more growth or productivity, you usually get the buy-in of stakeholders. When you show people how they will make money or achieve more productivity by utilizing data, you kind of shift them a little bit. But we have a challenge in these regions that the data is very difficult to find. But events like these are very, very important because we're bringing together a lot of stakeholders who will discuss and create platforms and avenues and talk about data sharing. So it's easier for businesses to make decisions and do what it is they want to do with tech. Sorry, I could go on forever. I don't know how much time I have.
No, you're fine. This is a space for that. But you mentioned great points, Christian. One of the things that I think will be interesting for persons tuning in to know is, who is this conference for? Is it for the leaders of these businesses? Is it for the workers who are actively involved with the technological aspect of the business itself? Or is it simply for anyone who would like to learn how to improve on technology?
We believe that it's for anyone. And the reason we say that is because we have practical solutions on the ground. We have practical sponsors who have implemented a lot of this on the ground in Belize. So this is not that we're bringing in an international movie star saying that he's made it big. This is local heroes who have driven this digital divide and are bridging it. In fact, Belize is now an example to many other countries. The Belize Tax Service, what they implemented, is being looked at within the Caribbean as a first-class, best in implementation by the EU as well. So the reality is that COVID bridged a divide that we are no longer lagging. We are now at the forefront, but we've got to tell people that we are. We've got to tell our citizens that we are number one in something, and we're moving towards certain things. And we've got to get everybody on board. So we're thinking that students who want to come, and we're going to be having scholarship opportunities. If you write in and say why you belong there and why you can't afford to come, we will embrace you. And that's why we have sponsors, because they are the ones who will be providing those opportunities for people coming in. Sponsorship isn't just to pay for bills. It's to encourage others who can't be there to be there. We're looking at leaders, CEOs, CTOs, at whatever level. What we're excited about, we're seeing like a farm registered 2 of their people to come. And yes, because food security and agriculture now requires that you use technology in the sugar industry, in the cattle industry. So one of the things is that we have these limiting beliefs of what industry or what areas digital and digitization belongs. It belongs in every aspect of our lives. And like Henry mentioned, we've got to stop being digital immigrants. I mean, there's no green card being given out for this. I mean, we've got to become natives, no matter how old we are or how young we are. We've got to embrace it, because if we do not pivot, we will perish.
That was quite indeed a strong statement there. What I'm also interested to know is what the structure of this conference will be. Is it one day? Is it a few days? How will the layout be in terms of information that will be shared?
It is a one day. We wanted it to be a 2 day, but we didn't know how receptive people would have been to that. We do plan to make it annual and have a second day. However, we're looking at whatever spin-offs that we can have from it, whether we can have some roundtable forums the following days with persons who would love to gather. But we do have master classes that will be taught. We have 3 lunch and learn sessions, so attendees can decide where they want to go. We have a TikTok specialist coming in, a Facebook specialist coming in, and we have a cybersecurity. So that's lunch and learn. You get to go into a separate room and learn with them. We'll have case studies. We'll have our sponsors who are able to do talks and present what it is that they've done. So yes, it's a myriad of different areas that we're doing. And then of course, we're having a round table at the end where we will have somebody from the, different persons within the local environment speaking on different topics. And I wanted to share with you some of the topics that will be discussed in that final forum. They're not finalized yet, but I thought that you would love to hear them. One of them is digital transformation or digital colonialism. Who really benefits? Automation and AI, the silent threat to jobs or key to growth. Cybersecurity in small economies, are we ready for the next big attack? The digital divide, are we leaving Belize's rural communities behind? Because we've got to take care of our rural and areas. General conflict in the digital workplace, can boomers and Gen Z thrive together? So these are some thoughtful questions, yes, and we're excited to have Minister Koyi will open up the session, and we'll have people from government who will be speaking on their areas. But it's not a government issue. However, for private sector to be able to thrive, academia to be able to grow, Galen is one of our sponsors as well, we really need to ensure that everybody's at that table, listening in, bringing in their points. And we're hoping that we get to come on many other shows so that we can start to create the conversation around this. So we're excited, and you've seen our list of sponsors, and we're grateful for you for having us here as well. It's November 13th at the Belize Biltmore Plaza, and it's a long day. Imagine 8 until 6. It's the longest conference I think that I've planned in my past, but it's worth it because the conversation is rich and people are signing up like crazy. However, we're capping at 150 because we cannot afford that everybody doesn't get that space to speak and converse. So it's going rather fast.
And the tickets are 600?
The tickets are 600, but we've decided, and Christian and I have decided, that anybody who says they saw this show on OYE, they can get the early bird. So, you have to say why, or you have to say, I'm calling to get a ticket because I saw you all on OYE.
I was convinced.
Yes, on OYE, and you get the early bird for today.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for giving that opportunity to our viewers to tune in and, of course, engage in conversations like this. As we wrap up this segment, I'll give you guys a final opportunity to share some last words.
Well, I'd just like to add that the discussions we have had, we have not said one thing, that we have companies in Belize that are creating world-class digital solutions. At DFC, when we started out, we use what is called a discovery-driven method. So you planning method. You go to the early hanging fruit and you move on. And we've wanted to focus on people. So the first digital transformation we did was with Neo People for a whole human resources information system. And that's a locally developed piece of software that's being used in the States, in the Caribbean, in different parts of the world. And a lot of people don't realize that, right? And when you look at other systems from outside of Belize, it stands up and it's better than what you have, and it brings a flexibility. So it's not only about the TikToks and this, we also have professionals doing that. So.
And he's one of the presenting partners along with Chamberlain Consulting and Ricks. Also, we have online attendees from around the world as well, by the way.
Wonderful.
So the conversation will be, yes, we have people signing up in Africa, in America, in the region, and even some Belizeans who can't make it to the Biltmore that day. So again, it's going to be offered on a hybrid perspective for those who absolutely want to be there. So we're excited about that as well.
So for the DFC, basically what we're doing is moving to a digital-first organization to improve client satisfaction. And within Q1 of next year, our clients will see omni-channels and different things that will allow, seamless follow-up and interaction with us.
Kudos to you guys for doing that. Of course, we do want to get some final thoughts from Ms. Koot as well.
Yes, for us, what we're excited about is that even though we're currently going through our transformational changes, technological-wise, it's just announced that soon we'll be proceeding into our third phase of our IRIS portal, whereby taxpayers will be able to register their businesses online. So as we said, we started during COVID, and it's a phased approach that we're implementing. It takes a couple of years, of course, and we're working on our final stages. Our user acceptance team is currently testing the platform with that feature, so that will be rolling out soon. But at the same time, I would just like to share that the tax service sees this opportunity of utmost importance, not only for leaders, but at the same time for both the organization, our leaders there, and our taxpayers. And we're proud to be a part of this initiative with Ms. Chamberlain, because I must say we have worked with her before, specifically during our change management and communication process for our IRIS Belize platform, and we can vouch for her product that she puts out there.
Wonderful.
So we'd like to invite everybody to be a part of this conference.
Yes, and thank you guys so much for joining us. Mr. Junior as well, thank you so much for joining us virtually. As we wrap up this segment, we'll ask if you have any final thoughts as well.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. I think my colleagues have said a lot. When you look at the theme of this conference, it is called Strategy, Engagement, and Security. My colleagues have talked a lot about, for example, what the tax services are doing, what I think is the DFC are doing as well. So they've covered a lot of talk about the strategies these corporations have put in place to engage citizens or customers or people. The final part of what we're going to look at this conference is the security aspect of it, which a lot of businesses in Belize, I'm sorry to say this, are not paying a lot of attention to. And it has become the biggest problem in the world. It is no longer when your business will get attacked, but rather, it is no longer if, but rather when you will fall victim to a successful attack. So one of the things that we look at is, you've got all this beautiful infrastructure, you're engaging the citizens, how are you keeping them safe? In addition to that, how are you communicating these safety measures? Are you using the latest technologies, biometrics, all these types of implementations to make sure you're keeping citizens safe as well? So in addition to all of the nice strategies we've implemented, all of the engagement tools and platforms we have in place, we will spend a lot of time looking at how we can safeguard these platforms. Our critical infrastructure, utility companies are falling victims, hospitals and financial institutions, and even the smallest businesses in Belize and the rest of the Caribbean. I think it's something that we really need to pay a lot of attention to. Else, all of these digital things that we're doing could also become our downfall. And that's why a lot of people in these regions are scared of digital transformation, because it exposes them to a lot of online risk. But there are measures and tools in place that we will expose a lot of participants to put all of these kinds of concerns to rest. So we look forward to having everybody in 4 weeks' time. And thank you for having me today. It's been a pleasure being here.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us as well. Thank you to you guys as well for joining us, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you. I know we didn't have time to thank all of our sponsors, but they know who they are and their logos have shown.
And they were on the screen.
Please know that we appreciate you being a part of this, and Society and Belize Bank also for speaking at the event. We're really happy to have Sonia and Agatha on board as well.
Wonderful. All right, well, we got to take another quick break, and when we come back, the conversation switches into empowering HR leaders to drive organizational success.
This is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connection. pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Tired of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
My name is Hermain Vega. El Patio Grill has been using Belize Bank for over 25 years. We only use Belize Bank at our restaurant. That's why we were able to win this trip to Europe. I had never been to Europe. We found out it was Madrid and we were excited and we went to this football match. The teams reached before the game and everybody was just outside, you know. You can't explain it. The noise just roared like 3 blocks down the street. But when you got in there and you saw 70,000 people in there, that was amazing. I couldn't believe it was happening. I had to pinch myself to make sure it was real, you know, because it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, I'd say. My lucky plus one was my son. He's 18 years old, so he was really excited and he enjoyed it as well. He said it's his best trip ever, so it's a priceless experience that we got. Belize Bank has always been there for me. Whatever transactions or whatever I need to do, they're always there for me. I would recommend everybody to use Belize Bank. It's the oldest bank in our country and they continue to do their best.
Coming up, a food odyssey like no other. Getting the most out of cruising. St. Lucia's Peaks, boosted businesses. Serving up the best, a great place to rest. Another take on shrimp. It's all next on this station.
Hello friends, I'm Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "Blessed are those servants whom the Lord when He cometh shall find watching." In America, during the early colonial history period, there is a day known as a dark day that historians have recorded. They say that on that day a thick darkness and strange conditions caused many to assume Christ's return was at hand. In the legislature that morning, it was discussed and decided that the legislature would adjourn and await the day of judgment at home and to make ready for Christ's coming. Before the adjournment, an old deacon in a local church stood and said, "Maybe the day of judgment is at hand. I do not know. But when Christ does come, I want Him to find me at my post doing my duty faithfully." We should live our lives each day with that kind of an attitude, so that whether death shall knock at our door or Christ shall return unexpectedly, that we will not find ourselves unprepared, but hear Him say, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant." What a difference this would make in the church and in the workplace if this principle was applied to all of our daily lives. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
And welcome back. Our second conversation this morning is all about empowering human resource leaders to drive organizational success. Joining us in studio is the founding member and director of the membership lead for the Belize Association of Human Resource Professionals, none other than Danielle Haylock Roberts. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Yes. Danielle is joined by Candice Canelo. She's also a founding member and she's the secretary of the Belize Association of Human Resource Professionals. Ladies, good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Let's talk about empowering HR leaders to begin with, in terms of fully appreciating their role as leaders and driving the kind of organizational changes that would come about success?
Okay, well, HR, I have been in HR for 14 years, right? And it's somewhat considered a traditional function, you know, dealing with people, dealing with administration, payroll, discipline, performance management, but we play such a critical role in organizations. We are more strategic. We deal with talent. We deal with training and development, really preparing organizations to be ready for the next steps. One of the goals of the association, is for us to empower us as leaders and not just as paper pushers, right? And for us to really play a role at the table, being strategic, because your organization can't exist if you don't have the people. So while you have the machines, you have the equipment, you need people to work those.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're there to lead the process, right? And to really give us a seat at the table, per se.
So when we think of HR, I love that you started with the more traditional idea of what human resource representatives represents to society. I've oftentimes heard, I'd say a controversial saying that HR doesn't necessarily work for the people, or they're not there to support the people. They're there to support the company. What are your thoughts on that?
It's twofold, right? I keep saying we're the ones that they're not necessarily friends with. So it's kind of a lonely position to be in, but we work for both. So while we have rules and policies that we need to follow for organizations, we also are there for the employees. We're the voice of the employees. So it's twofolded, right? But in any event, we need to voice and advocate for the employees, but also protect the company when doing so. And in HR, we have so many rules and policies, legislations that we need to keep up with, both at the local level and the international level with the ILO conventions and stuff. So those are areas that it's not just getting people to work and motivating them and paying them. We need to make sure, we need to follow a lot of rules and policies to make sure that we're in compliance with laws.
Just to add to that, also looking at HR, we look at cultures, company cultures, workplace environment cultures, and how I could sum it up in a fun and easy way is a culture is the personality of a company. It's the vibe you get when you go into the doors. It's how the decisions are made, how are people. And so I want to look at it as a garden. So you have the seeds that you plant, those are the attitudes and the behavior, and then you have to water the seeds, which is the support and the leadership that the employees need, and then you need to weed out. So you need to weed out the negative and the poor communication, and then that allows you to have that seamless environment, that working environment that employees strive in. So that's just an addition to that.
Yeah. There's a perception that many of us in the workplace have where we look at HR as primarily the quote-unquote complaint board, so to speak, right? We don't look at the HR office as somewhere where we could look at opportunities for professional development around the workplace, right? How do we begin to change that mindset, or that misconception that HR is only there to lodge a complaint if something is not going the employee's way?
Well, HR is there for many things, for training and development, ensuring that we have the right people with the right skill set in the right position. So we're both for company and the employees, and that's why we ensure that there's proper policies in place and that it's fair. And that's why we tell most HR professionals to know your ethos. You need to know the business ethos, the type of business you're getting into, and if that matches back to you. And of course, we have to be there to hold people accountable, but we're also there to help them grow. So it's it's like she said, it's a twofold thing. It's not just we're there to discipline, we're also there to help grow and align the employee side of the business with the company goals. So what does the company want to achieve? It could be anything. You could change next year, you could have a different goal, and then our job is to ensure how do we get everyone on board, how do we get them motivated, how do we communicate the change to ensure that you understand it, you have enough time to ask questions, and at the end it's a win-win because you're happy that we communicated with you, and then we have that buy-in, and it's easier for us to get the job done, and then that equals to less gruntles or less disgruntled employees. So we ensure fairness on both ends.
What's interesting is that prior to this conversation, in our previous discussion, we were talking about change and the natural resistance to change by members of staff, if we could use the workplace as the example. And the fact that some of us are in a management position where we're tasked with driving change, but the people that we work with, because they're so used to doing something a particular way, to introduce something new or foreign to them as a concept or as a policy, automatically they begin to resist and buck against it because you're disrupting essentially what would have been something that they've been used to doing
the norm
for the number of years that they've been working with a company, for instance. How do we begin to address those kinds of issues? Because you could attempt to communicate it in the best possible way, but if in their mind they're saying, look, I've been doing this for the past 15 years, how dare you come and throw something new into the mix? How do you begin to change that mentality?
Well, it's with training and upskilling, because I believe all of us are going through that right now. The organization that I work with is going through an entire transformation to go digital, and there is resistance, you know. But what we're doing is that we're going out. So rather than just sending out, you know, emails saying things are changing, they're actually physically going out saying, listen, these are the things that are changing. They involve staff in marketing and, you know, really empowering the change. But there is this fear, and I heard the other group discussing that, this fear of change, you know, particularly with digital transformation, artificial intelligence coming in. And also one of the challenges that we have is a generational gap of new employees coming into the market, the younger staff coming in, and when we give them policies and procedures to read, they're like, you know, there must be an easier way to do this. So whilst we may have a traditional way of doing business, the market is changing, and so we need to start upskilling, and that's why it comes with training, preparing persons for the next steps. So it is that's there that we need to then drive that change, and they look at HR for that.
I want to talk about the association, the Belize Association of Human Resource Professionals. What exactly is this association? Is it a space for HR professionals to meet as an association to gather best practices on how to improve their organization that they work and represent?
Yes, and it's not only for HR professionals, and we also target business owners, small business entrepreneurs, people in heads of departments, managers, and anyone really out there wanting to work with people or helping to manage people. Our organization caters for that. However, we did recognize that the market lacked a space for individuals, like-minded individuals like herself, to connect, and we wanted to have a space where you could learn and you could grow, and also provide practical tools to get the job done. So it's not textbook. You're going to be able to meet and network and get real life ideas and situation and how do you solve problems. So that was essential how our organization or association got started and what we're catering towards.
So the entire topic, of course, this segment offers just a bit of a taste of what it's like being a part of an association like this. Are we hoping to gather persons to join the association? Will we be expecting events or sessions that individuals can take part in?
Yes, actually, we have been established since June 22nd, 2020.
All right. Another pandemic
Yes,
formation.
and so what happened is, since it was a pandemic, we were having online sessions and seminars. And so now, for the very first time, we'll be hosting what we call a game changer for the first time in Belize, an HR summit on November 14th at the Biltmore Plaza. And we look forward to have a great day, and Candice can give more information on what to expect.
So we are inviting persons to attend the event, and then what we'll be having is several topics leading, particularly like with leadership, HR as leaders. We're going to be having some keynote speakers, some senior HR executives from some international speakers joining us to discuss those areas as well. And then we're going to be talking about culture in the workplace. Maybe Danielle could explain a little bit more about that. But our topics are more focused on bringing HR together, empowering HR. We're going to be hearing real life case studies about what's happening in the industry, because you may have the situation happening in your organization, it's happening in another organization.
Yeah, it's not unique.
It's not unique, right? And so we will be able to share in a safe space, because the type of work that we do is very confidential.
Yes.
But there needs to be a safe space for HR to discuss certain things, right? And that's what the summit aims to do, is to bring, particularly with networking opportunities, meeting other HR professionals out there. Like she said, we've done all of our sessions online. We've had quite an impact, and we've gotten good feedback with the sessions that we've held. And now we want to put a face to the association and really meet who are out there and who drive the talent pool in Belize.
Well, congratulations to you, one, for forming the association and being around for the past 4 years. We are always inspired when we see the different businesses and organizations, associations that have come out of the pandemic, the innovation that has been born from the pandemic as well. One of the things that I definitely want to go back to is that work culture topic that you mentioned, because I think it goes without saying that every workplace has a work culture, whether it's positive or negative, that's yet to be said. But perhaps the more challenging ones to break into is the negative, or are the negative work cultures, where it's been around for generations, for decades. As HR professionals, how do you fix that?
It starts from the top. It starts from the top. And it's being able to realize the market and for example, Candice saying the generational gap. So older HR heads, that we like to call them, you cannot motivate a millennial or a Gen Z the same way.
That's true.
So you have to be open to learning new ways and techniques, and listening. Active listening is key. And you have to be surrounded with others that share similar goals or understand where does the business want to go, and having your HR professional to say, we could do that, we could increase this, we could add that. However, this is what we propose, this is the right method. We need to ensure we're engaging with the staff, bringing them together and making sure they're informed. Because the minute you're doing things without bringing or collaborating with them, they're gonna just feel left out, and then you don't get that motivated and engaged employee anymore.
Danielle, that was such a golden nugget there. And I remember a few months ago speaking with one of the other co-hosts about how different generations work. When you think of the boomers, and when you think of, when you compare the boomers to the Gen Zs that are, the moment something goes wrong, they're like, all right, I'm gonna head out. You know, I imagine it takes different techniques to interact and to manage different generations. And of course, it begs the question, is that the responsibility of these managers or leaders, or should these employees come and recognize that you have a job to fill, and it's not so much about the generation that you represent?
It's both, because whilst we would think that you are prepared for the workplace, it's just a different style of, a different mindset, different learning, what you're exactly saying. One day they would just decide, you know, I'm gone, and then we're like, you know, you need to serve notice, you need to do this, and they're like,
I'm gonna head out.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out, and we're like, okay, right? And so they're not, I don't think it's that they're not informed, it's just that they don't I think it's just
It's just a different generational way of thinking.
It is, and even attracting them to work to an organization. The organization I work for, like I said, is very, step by step. This is what we do, and when they come in, it's even attracting them to wanting to work. Because then they will compare you to companies that are paying more by the dollar, and so they're more motivated by the dollar value when some organizations have benefits and insurance and vacation, and they're like, yeah, no, we want to know how much you're paying now, right?
But make no mistake, they also bring value.
But they do,
and that's I think the irony of it, and where the conversation is so important. But ladies, I wish we had more time. As we wrap up this segment, I just want to remind our viewers of the date, time and location of the conference, and of course why they can benefit from it.
Well, registration ends on November 1st, so sign up. It's $250 per individual, and you can check us out or sign up at our website on www.hrbelize.bz. And we're also giving away a ticket today.
Wonderful.
So whoever signs up today or sends us an email at BelizeHRAssociation@gmail.com. Send us an email right now and you get yourself a free ticket. And it's November 14th at the Biltmore Plaza.
Wonderful. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a wonderful conversation. We could have gone so much more, but of course, this is all the time we have. We wish to have you guys back very soon, and good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we are going to take another quick break, and when we come back, the conversation switches into NCFC on Belize Child Justice League. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Confidence. Design Depot brings you an attractive selection of GE appliances, including microwaves, washers, dryers, refrigerators, dishwashers, countertop appliances, and more. We understand the importance of appliances that not only endure, but also excel in performance. As your trusted GE USA authorized dealer, we stand for reliability and performance, ensuring that you can power on with confidence. Visit us today and power on with efficient, reliable, and energy-saving solutions with GE appliances from Design Depot.
Design Depot, all in one place.
My name is Hermine Vega. El Patio Grill has been using Belize Bank for over 25 years. We only use Belize Bank at our restaurant. That's why we were able to win this trip to Europe. I had never been to Europe. We found out it was Madrid and we were excited and we went to this football match. The teams reached before the game and everybody was just outside, You can't explain. The noise just roared like 3 blocks down the street, but when you got in there and you saw 70,000 people in there, that was amazing. I couldn't believe it was happening. I had to pinch myself to make sure it was real, because it's a one-in-a-lifetime experience, I'd say. My lucky plus one was my son. He's 18 years old, so he was really excited and he enjoyed it as well. He said this is his best trip ever, so it's a priceless experience that we got. Belize Bank has always been there for me. Whatever transactions or whatever I need to do, they're always there for me. I would recommend everybody to use Belize Bank. It's the oldest bank in our country and they continue to do their best.
It's an massive season with massive deals and rewards at Penny's. From now through December 31st, earn double B-Bucks on store-wide purchasing every Saturday. That's right, 2 times the B-Bucks, which means 2 times the cash back when shopping at Penny's. Plus, get even more rewards with B-Bucks Builders on home goods, tiles, appliances, paints, and lights. And don't forget, there's also massive deals and discounts on tiles and the best brands in paints like Benjamin Moore and BH. Rewards, deals, B-Bucks. You can get it all this massive season only at Penny's. Quality and savings.
welcome back. We are jumping into our third conversation this morning, and as we mentioned, it's all about NCFC's Belize Child Justice League. Don't be mistaken with DC Comics. This is very much different. This morning, though, we are joined by Marcus August, and he is the Information, Education, and Communication Officer with NCFC. Joining us in the middle is also Azaria Martinez, and she is a judge for the Child Justice Mock Trial League. And also with us is Michael Lunn, Deputy Resident Representative with UNDP. Guys, thank you so much for joining us, and welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So, Child Justice League, quite a catchy name. There's a lot to I'd say think about when you hear that title. One of the first things, as I mentioned, that crossed my mind was, is this different from Child Parliament? Which, of course, Marcus, you clarified. So, what is Child Justice League?
Okay, so the Child Justice League is a simulation that allows the 22 children to be a part of now what we would consider the justice part of our nation, but that actually overrules the court cases. And so NCFC, we're at a place now, we've already done the Children's Parliament where the children discuss the bills, debate the bills, and now we're at a different junction of giving them the law side of Belize. And so we're actually very happy that we're here now to do this. November 6th, we're going to preview it live on, of course, all the stations. And we have these 22 children that have devoted enough time and dedication to actually understand this side of law.
Yeah.
And so we have Azaria here that could probably give us a better understanding of the preparation phase for it.
Well, Azaria, we definitely are grateful to have you here with us this morning as a judge. Talk to me about your interest in being a part of this initiative from NCFC and UNDP.
I got interested in it because they sent it to us and they asked us, are you willing to join? And I was, of course, willing. I love participating in anything. And joining this, I was like, I'm interested because when I was younger, people tell me I always had a voice. So law would be great for me, lawyer, judge, so forth. And when I saw this, I was like, maybe I could get an experience if this is actually something that I want to do. And I got the opportunity to be a judge. I'm so grateful for. It was amazing participating in this, joining all the meetings, getting to know all these people, and we actually met a few guests.
So talk to us about the preparation, because I would presume that there's a lot of reading and research that goes into preparing yourself for this. What has that been like?
Well, it's been a little okay. The terminology for the judge, you have to learn how to properly respond to the judges, the jurors, the crown counsels. We have to say and give our own opinions on whether we decide to object or overrule the objection. And the preparation, we have to do a lot of reading. I also have a partner with me. He will also help me being a judge up there, so I'm not by myself.
Wonderful. Well, I have to get Mr. Lunn in the conversation representing UNDP and talking about this collaboration between your organization and, of course, NCFC.
Yeah, thank you. So I think promoting civic engagement among young people is very important for the country to help young people understand the justice system, which is, we can be honest, not super easy to understand. But giving the opportunity for young people to actually be part of it, to have a mock trial, to learn what that is, and then hopefully go back to their schools, because it's from all over the country, young people from all over the country, and then explain to their friends and their schools what they've been doing, what they have learned, so it can have a rippling effect. I think generally promoting civic engagement among young people is something that's going to help have productive and engaged citizens also in the future. So we're very happy to be part of this initiative organized by the NCFC.
What was the process of getting together all these 22 participants? How did that come about?
So we have a schedule that we created for the children. First of all, they had to sign up to be a part of the mock trial. We designated Belmopan as a meeting point, and then to practice. So they actually went into our court to actually practice their initial roles and their assignments. Yeah.
You know, one of the things that I always admired since recognizing the initiative of Child Parliament is that NCFC has been now recognized as one of those organizations that has tried to find innovative ways to engage young people in our civic duties, in being more aware of the different processes that would take place in decision making, in the justice system even. So to see that you guys have found a way to have young people engaged, but actually understand what a lot of adults in Belize don't, I have to say kudos to you guys for coming up with something like that. Now, what I want to look into is what this Justice League system will look like. There's a designated day, as you mentioned, it will be live streamed. What will we be seeing?
So the icing on the cake is that I actually can't give out that specific
What?
detail as yet. So you got to tune in. You got to tune in November 6th. However, it's going to be these 22 kids that have devoted their time and especially the weekends to actually get this specific thing, this specific trial accomplished. I also want to give a huge thanks to Justice Moore for being the spearhead of it. Also, I believe it's Magistrate Schumann and Novello as well.
So you guys can't tell us much, but we still have to, I think, perhaps talk about a bit more of the preparation then. Whatever it is that you can share. As we mentioned, we know NCFC to be one of the leaders in organizing the Child Parliament. Now the Justice League, the Child Justice League. Will this be an initiative we'll be seeing more often from you guys?
Definitely. So just to look back is that one of the bills passed by the Parliament, or the Child's Parliament actually, was to increase the age of marriage from 16 to 18. And so we've worked alongside the Special Envoy, UNICEF and other organizations in order to carry out that child marriage campaign. And so now we're here, and if you look back again, we did do a Child Parliament where the bill was to see how kids are prosecuted in Belize when crimes are committed. And so if you notice now, we're here actually doing this mock trial so they could actually understand that specific bill. And so we're actually glad that we have partners such as UNDP, Silkgrass Farms Enterprise, the Bar Association, Heritage Bank, etc., that are assisting us with it to get this actually done.
How does initiatives like this from NCFC align with the work that is being done with UNDP?
Thanks. This is a great initiative that aligns very well with a bigger project that we have. It's called Pace Justice. It's actually a regional project funded by the EU, and Belize is part of it. We have already spearheaded the implementation here in Belize. There was a big conference in the beginning of September. There have been training on mediation, criminal mediation, in order to try and prevent cases that doesn't necessarily have to go through the formal court system, but can be mediated before. That will both help with the backlog in the system, and will also find a solution that is acceptable for both parties in the situation. And another thing that we are working with, which is very linked to this, I think, with the Ministry of Human Development, Families and Indigenous People's Rights, is diversion. What that really means is that young people who might get in brush with the law, instead of going through the formal legal system, that again will put an extra burden on the legal system, but it will also maybe put a young person on the wrong path, because you might learn what it means to be a criminal instead of just dealing with that one brush, as I call it, with the law. So trying to find other solutions to get accountability, obviously, for those situations, and help the young person divert away from the formal justice system. So young people, as Azaria and the other 21 who learns about this and will be able to teach their colleagues and their friends, is a great initiative in that endeavor as well.
Will there be any sort of a review mechanism to see how effective this initial exercise would have been, perhaps with a view to do this again on an annual basis?
Correct. Right after the mock trial, we already have a review session that's going to take place to evaluate how effective actually it was, the roles and also the roles that were played.
I want to know a bit about some of the challenges, Azaria, that you would have encountered preparing for your role as judge. Do you interact with your other peers as well who will be acting in various positions in this trial?
Yes, I do interact with them. I mostly, I mostly interact with my partner, the judge as well, who's gonna be playing with me, Kelroy, because we have a lot of stuff that we have to work together to get done. We have to decide who is going to say what, who's going to say when, and we have to just be there for each other to, in case he makes a mistake, I help him. In case I make a mistake, he helps me. So it's been a little challenging because we have to do a lot of research. But we have so much help from the NCFC. We got help from Magistrate Moore. She helps us so much, and she's a fun person to be around, and it's just an amazing experience to have met her.
What are some of the things that you have now learned that you probably won't forget and you might understand when someone said that they're going to trial?
Well, now that I have been a part of that, I have learned that people have different rights in there, so basically you don't have to say anything as the accused person. As the accused person, you get 3 rights. You can either remain silent in your docs, you could either testify from your docs and give a statement that no one is able to speak on, or you could go to the witness docs and you can say something, you can make a statement, and the Crown Counsel and the defense lawyers are able to rebut against you.
Do you believe that your experience so far will help to confirm that you want to pursue either law or any other related field as your course of study?
Yes, sir, I do. Because I had 3 career choices that I was thinking of: computer science, government or politics, and the justice. And participating in the 2023 National Children's Parliament, I also got a taste of the government side. So this also is giving me an experience to see whether I want to do that, the government side or the justice side. And I won't disclose which side I want to be on more.
What was your role in Child Parliament?
I was a...
It's okay, you've been very busy, it seems. You've been very active.
I always try to participate, but I was a senator.
Okay, all right.
I was not a senator. I'm not exactly sure, but I remembered I played Kevin Bernard, the Minister of Health.
Okay. You're a minister.
My final question for you, Azaria, is how do you balance all of this with your school, your workload at school?
That's not true. I have quite the workload considering I'm executive student council, but I have amazing people who help me and always support me with everything that I want to pursue. And we have other student council members, the president, vice president, well, not the vice president since I'm the vice president, the secretary, the PR, the treasurer. All of these are my friends and they help me. And if we all need something, we come together, we work together on it. And considering that I'm also in class with our secretary, she also helps me with our schoolwork and I help her if we needed.
Wonderful. Well, as we wrap up this segment, I'll ask if we can expect any future projects very soon from NCFC as well as UNDP. Let's begin with you, Marcus.
Yes, so one of the recurring projects will be this mock trial. This is one of the new projects that we actually want to keep going alongside or somewhat with Children's Parliament.
Yeah, this is part of a 3-year project that we have with the EU funding. So we'll be doing a lot more, and especially on the justice for the youth side and the diversion side. Can I just say one of the things to your question that I found very interesting about this project is that all the students are doing this in their spare time. They're investing their Saturdays, their evenings in this, and so are all the resource people, all the justices, and all. They're also doing this on their own or after working hours. So this is really an initiative we are very happy to support, but it's really Belizeans doing it for Belizeans, which I think is great.
All the more commendable. So again, the date for the live stream is?
November 6th.
November 6th, and it will be on all media platforms. Correct. As well as online?
All media platforms, including our personal social media, which is NCFC, and also all the media houses.
At what time? We'll check on NCFC's page. We definitely will be tuning in. Congratulations to you guys, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so
much.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to take our final break now, and when we come back, the conversation switches into redefining pastry creations with my baker and chef.
Kaba Elmer Shua. Ay join jik ahelak sa Pastry Lodge. Keronik ahelan ay lain sa Kopal, kakui bartending, kakui an keronik mano lain. Lain ni usara Belize Bank mobile app. Hanak na usara uta hana ATM, uting card. Araw kay balbas changkiron sa usara ut kolore na notification chura phone na mensajes. Araw ta kin na kolore, ta kala harup chitumin sa usara. Ut araw ta naw nak sa chabilo wang gatumin.
Gentlemen, this is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connection. Pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Fulltech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price but stay for the service.
Shop smart for your Samsung devices in Belize and enjoy benefits you won't get anywhere else. When you shop locally for your Samsung, all your devices will be covered by a 1-year local warranty. You won't get that when shopping with the other guys. When in doubt, always look for the Cellular World seal to know you're getting the real deal. Shop with confidence and enjoy your Galaxy knowing that it can be repaired locally at our Samsung Service Center by certified Samsung technicians using original parts and machinery. Even better, enjoy the best LTE experience in Belize, knowing that your Samsung devices are compatible with major local carrier networks. Get the ultimate Samsung Galaxy experience only when you shop from authorized Samsung resellers nationwide.
There's an old proverb that says, "He who has health has hope, and he who has hope has everything." We showcase that hope from discussions on health and wellness, climate change, and updates on NCDs and a lot more. Stay tuned to Caribbean Medical TV.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or a self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
And welcome back. For our final conversation this morning, we are discussing redefinition of the pastry creations. And of course, we have with us representatives from My Baker and Chef. In studio this morning is Miriam Kal. She's the owner of Maitas Kal Limited. Good morning.
Good morning.
And to her right is Laura Reyes. She's a chef at My Baker and Chef. Yes. And of course, to Laura's right is Magda Mojica. She's a sales manager at My Baker and Chef. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Good morning.
So we have all of this on display here. Yes. But before we get into discussing what we have in front of us, I know you guys had an event yesterday where you were formally introducing My Baker and Chef to Belize. Let's talk about the company or the products and how this all came to be.
Okay. Yesterday's demonstration included some of the products that we already have on the market and some products that the company brought in to see if the market would be interested, right? My Baker has an extensive array of products on their catalog, right? So it's about knowing whether the Belizean market is interested in some of them, and the response was very positive. They were very happy with what they tried. We were happy to, for the first time, have the bakers taste a merengue powder that My Baker formulated just recently, never been tasted before. It was the first time here in Belize for our type of climate, which is humid and hot, which is a new type of merengue powder that we will start bringing in most likely by the ending of November.
And that the merengue powder would be these here on
yes,
display.
Those are the merengue powders, yes, and then they have the royal icings. Like these cookies were made using both type of royal icing, which is the moldable royal icing and the regular royal icing.
These products are made in Mexico?
Yes, My Baker and Chef, it's a brand from Mexico with 18 years in the market and developing constantly new formulas like, say, Miriam, who's the very exclusive weather. So this is what the brand makes.
Prior to the event that was held yesterday, were these items from My Baker accessible here in Belize?
Yeah. I started importing them in January.
Okay.
Yes, and we have them available up to actually entire country. Yeah,
yes.
Up to PG, you can find our products.
How popular has the brand My Baker been to our bakers here in Belize? I know we have quite a few businesses that operate either at home or having their own location, but how popular is this brand to Belizean bakers?
It's new, but as we say, the brand is from Canada to Argentina.
Okay.
So we are extended the market, and Belize is now.
Belize has been very positive response. We have gotten positive feedback, and after the demonstration and the hands-on class, they are even more in love with the brand. And we invited hoteliers, chefs from the hotels. We have a supermarket procurement managers came in and they liked what they saw so much that during the show Publix announced that they will carry all our line, which is definitely a plus, right? Because the biggest problem that I was encountering as we were going to the stores, they don't want to take all of it, and it's an inconvenience for the baker to go to several stores to get what they need. And they do use many of the products on a single project.
Yeah. One of the things that I have observed from the display and the explanation that you ladies have provided in our news as well as this morning is that Ma Baker provides convenience, one, but it also provides products for creativity to flourish. Yeah. There are so many things here on display, and you guys even brought some of those items in actual baking form. So we have our cookies here. Is this a cake that I'm standing behind here?
That's on our new merengue that they just introduced
guys,
for our
look
market.
At this. When I think merengue, I do not think this creatively. I just think a little lemon pie, a little lemon pie with some whipped egg whites. But that's what exactly? So what exactly is this here? Is this a cake?
You can make a cake with this decoration. This is merengue and fondant decorations, applications with some edible images, printer like this. All of this is edible
sugar
paper and edible ink.
Wafer paper. And this is the edible ink from a baker and chef. Look at the quality.
So you don't have to be a super expertise pastry to make these creations. You just
the non-baker in me only sees a printed typing sheet. It's literally what it looks like, right, Hisani?
So it's all edible.
So you would put something like this on cookies, on cakes?
For example, what was here, this is a printed image that was sticked on the fondant.
Wonderful. Now, of course, ladies, I think we are all a bit overwhelmed. We just want to touch on everything here. So we just looked at the meringue. The fact that it's colored, do you add food coloring to it?
Yes, Ma Baker has a total of 59 colors on their collection. These are our gel colors. Then they also have the Festa colors. Then they have the chocolate, the color chocolate, which in Belize we don't see much people work with chocolate, right? I guess it's because of our hot climate, right?
Yes,
but that is an option should bakers want it.
All right.
So on this end, you guys have what appears to be a Christmas style. Okay. Talk to us about this one.
This is decorated with fondant. That we have the special tropical fondant to work with this weather, and we have all with the colorants and royal icing and some applications with these pearls, edible pearls. Everything is edible. So
wonderful.
As you can see, you can make every project that you have on your mind.
So you said that Ma Baker and Chef has been around here in Belize since January. What are some of the newest items that we will be expecting in stores?
Definitely our new merengue that was formulated for us, and the moldable royal icing, which is what they made this cookie with. Yes, the moldable, sorry, is this one? Which is what they created with this cookie. And it's something that the bakers have never seen before. And they fell in love with what they could create using it.
Wow.
And the taste, great.
So how do you use something like this for persons who might now say, you know what, I could get all these things from Ma Baker. I'll test out some of these items. How do I go about using moldable icing?
All the instructions are on the package. And we also have the QR code.
Okay.
Like in the page, or I think is like this.
Okay. On social media, you can get the QR code.
On social media, and you can find all the tutorials to know how to work with the products.
So it would be perfect for newbies like me who might be inspired now.
This is an example of our QR code. If you scan it, it will give you the instructions.
Okay.
Nice.
So all our products carry that.
Yeah. Let's get the sales manager in on the conversation. What has it been like? Okay.
She understands English, but she will answer in Spanish. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
What has it been like attempting to introduce these products onto the Belizean market?
Well, sorry, my English is not good, but I want to say thank you, Majito Cal, Belize, for this visit. I am very, very happy because Ma Baker is showing in this place. Ma Baker has, as told you, Laura, 18 years in the market. Ma Baker is in several parts of the world, and only I can say that I am very happy.
All right. Right.
We also have, they also create something for drinks that we showcased yesterday, if you
Ooh.
would allow us. And
Absolutely.
they were happy. The bartending areas were very happy.
Okay, so let's see what are we going to be doing here?
Okay, well, basically, they have this powder they call the cocktail shine, right? And this is wine, by the way.
Okay.
You can add it to any
let's,
drink.
Let's raise the glass so our camera can really get a good look. Yeah, Isani can hold it, and then you can add it in there. Perfect.
Then you just take a little bit of the powder.
Wait. Okay.
And when you shake it,
look at that.
That's the shine you get. It's just to make your drink more beautiful, more visually appealing. And it does not change the taste of your drink. It could be added to several different type of drinks.
It doesn't change the texture either?
Nothing. No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Then we could try the other color if you wish. It comes by sets of 15 colors. Okay, this is closed.
That would be great for bartenders indeed, or resorts trying to add their own signature look to drinks. I certainly would be excited about that, getting a beautiful pink sparkly glass of wine.
We did get good feedback, and we already have orders to fill. They really were happy with it. And again, it's about offering your customers a little bit more.
And you don't need a lot, it looks like.
No, it's a very little. This is the gold.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at that. Guys, look at how beautiful that is. That is a glass of wine.
Yeah.
And it translates so beautifully.
So if you want to do a little home gathering and you want to offer fancy drinks, you don't need to be a bartender. You could just add something like that to your drink. It's beautiful.
Wonderful. Now, I also saw you guys showcase some edible markers. Now, these look like regular markers to me.
They do look like regular markers. These are double-sided. We have a thick side and a thin side.
Okay.
And then they have the more finer one also, what they call the pens, right? These are used to write on cookies, on fondant, to do drawings on fondant, or
would that
on
be
wafer
what
paper.
would have been used here?
No, this, Chef, ¿qué lo que es aquí?
This is all handmade with the jelly colors.
Oh,
all of these are edible too. And one important thing is, as you can see, we have this hologram on all our products that is like guaranteed to you have an original product.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah?
It like authenticates the product itself.
Yes. And then these are the used also to paint your flowers, to paint, like this was used to add touches to the cookies.
As you can see, this is an edible flower too.
What?
Handmade edible flower with this new paste.
This is the new product we'll introduce also.
Guys,
Bakers
this is
were
edible.
wowed by this product. This is what we refer to as an improved gum paste.
This looked so real.
Yes. This product, they saw it for the first time and they definitely want it, so this will be coming in. The paste, you don't need much. It can be stretched very, very thin, making the petals of your flower more realistic. Unlike the other products are already on the market, this one is new. This is a rose that was made.
This is edible too?
Yes, made with this.
Wow.
You feel this, Isani. It does not feel like cake.
Nice.
That is
That means when you decorate the cake,
then you add
cut
all
it
of
into
those
slices, you could eat literally
everything. From the paper.
And it's
From the
safer too. It's more sanitary than to have non-edible stuff that are not.
Yes.
And many of the products are kosher and have the highest quality standards.
Now, again, these products are available, will be available at Publix across the country. There's also another distributor location as well, you mentioned, before Publix?
Before Publix during the city, it was only available, but not everything, few, in Twins Supermarket and Save You.
Okay.
Yeah, but Twins is the one that will carry all.
Okay, so Twins and Publix.
Yeah, and then Publix now will carry everything.
Wow.
Save You Supermarket takes some of the products. For example, they carry our glitter sprays.
Oh, nice.
Right, these are edible glitters that you can spray and add shimmer to your creations.
What does the price point look like for some of these items? I know it will be a little bit different when it hits the stores for the various supermarkets that will be carrying it, but Are these expensive items to be purchasing?
Well, no, it depending because the pastry industry is so, you know, that you have bakers that are starting up, and then you have the more high-end bakers that already know how to use all these space and create all this stuff, right? So the price point ranges anywhere from $8 up to $35. That's what we're looking at. Depending also on the size. For example, our fondant comes in various sizes. 1 kilogram, which is 2.2 pounds. 1 pound, 150 grams. Because not every baker needs the same amount. Some don't need much of this, while some have a high usage of it, they might require the 1 kilogram. So my baker tries to keep that in mind when they put products on the market.
Makes sense.
Wonderful. You guys inspire me. I might be making a birthday cake, and it's not even my birthday.
You could start with some Halloween design.
Oh, okay. Help me out here, ladies. So I have no experience with baking.
Pre-prepared flours.
Perfect.
So
you saved me some time there already.
Eggs and you can make your cake.
All right, I'm just adding some eggs to this, and I have my cake
and
ready.
your meringue, you beat it and you cover it, and that's it. You got the sprinkles.
But I might want to I might want to try out some fondant or maybe some icing. Can I put this on top of my cake?
The meringue is for this.
The meringue is on top.
The meringue goes on top.
Icing is more for the cookies and ¿para qué vamos a?
More cookies.
More for cookies.
Okay, but you can also put fondant on your cake too, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and that makes it look
is edible. Yes.
Okay, guys. Let's do this. We are going to be making our own cakes.
You can make your cake and your drinks, and you have a fancy
Yes.
party.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. And as we wrap up this segment with you guys, again, we want to say a huge congratulations to my baker and chef for bringing these amazing quality products to Belize. I know that a lot of our bakers here are excited to run to the stores and get their first touch on them to really improve the quality of their work, which of course benefits consumers like myself and Isani as well. As we wrap up this segment with you guys, do you have any final words that you'd like to share?
No, just to tell Belize thank you. We're having a demonstration later today in San Ignacio.
All right.
So we're expecting another crowd there. Thank you for at least welcoming my baker into their pantries, because many of them have tried it and they're happy. Many started slow with our flavorings, our cake flavorings, and in Belize, for example, we saw only the vanilla fondant for many years. It doesn't vary. So we had them taste the tropical. We had them taste the coconut that has a coconut flavor. We had them taste the red berries. That's almost like a bubble gum, they say. So I always tell bakers, don't be afraid to try new things. The pastry industry, you can play with it. It's an art.
Yeah.
You can create different tastes, different things, and my baker is there to assist you in that.
I also want to know, where does the chef aspect play in the display here? Are we also having products for cooking itself?
Well, later on, because of the feedback we got yesterday, they are very interested in trainings.
Okay.
Yes, even the hoteliers were interested in trainings. So it's definitely something my company will look into maybe next year, because this year we're in our high season.
Yeah.
Next year started bringing in chefs to offer hands-on training to whoever's interested.
Wonderful. Any final thoughts?
I will back.
She said, we'll be back with more.
Yes. We're warning you.
No warning at all. We love that warning. But thank you, ladies, so much. And again, congratulations to you all. And we wish you all the best. We look forward to having you guys back, perhaps testing myself and Isani's skills with our own decorating too.
Next time we come back,
yes. We'll try. All right, but that does it for our show. We had a jam-packed show this Wednesday, and Isani, I have to say, I thoroughly enjoyed each and every one of these conversations, from looking at bridging the digital divide in a fabulous conference that will be set to take place in November, to an even bigger opportunity for HR professionals on how to improve their organization through the association, and another conference that will be held in November. And then, of course, a judge mock trial, Justice League, Child Justice League. Huge congratulations to the folks from NCFC and UNDP for engaging our youth in this way, ensuring that they are active citizens that are well informed and understands the justice system here in Belize. And then, of course, A huge congratulations and a huge thank you to my baker and chef for joining us this morning, showcasing their products, and of course informing you guys on how you can get your hands on these products. We are so impressed here at Open Your Eyes, and I am 100% certain that you guys will be as well. It is October 16th. And if you're celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday to you. We have a cake here. We do not. I will not be giving away my baker's cakes. But happy birthday to you guys. And if you'd like to give a birthday shout out, or if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can send us an email at oye@channel5belize.com. You can also catch us on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ, as well as Instagram for behind the scenes contents at OYE Belize. Thank you so much for joining us, and please do us a favor and join us again tomorrow when you open your eyes
to start your morning right.
Until then, keep your eyes, your mind,
and your hearts open.
Have a wonderful Wednesday. Bye.
Was brought to you by Smart, bringing people together, and the Belize Bank, our country, your bank.